Hello everyone, I am Mulbre of the Mulberry Pack, Den of Snow-Based Wolves, and welcome to Wolvden. Now, for today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 hidden features of Wolvden. We're also going to be doing a small giveaway for the viewers of this channel here, so be sure to stick around or skip to the end if you want to hear about that. But first, today's featured is the lovely Briar, owned by Candy Kids. So this is the second one of their wolves they've allowed me to show on this channel here. And young Briar, I think they're very lovely, a little heart stealer, shall we say. But they are a T1 pumice with some nice markings: dark brown half saddle, white unders, silver crest, and rufous gast. They're all low opacities, so they add just a little touch to what would the base be, and the base itself is very lovely. But they're also a melanism carrier. I thought that was pretty neat because they are a Gen 10, and I found oftentimes the higher generations tend to lose a lot of what makes them cool, but the fact that this one has maintained that melanism carrier status is pretty neat. So thank you, Candy, for allowing me to feature them. If you want your wolf featured on my channel, be sure to shoot me a message on Wolvden. My number is 163020. Unfortunately, YouTube does not like links, so that's okay. All messages are welcome. So without further ado, let's roll. The first thing we're going to talk about on my list here is the raccoon wares. Now, I know the raccoon wares really isn't hidden, right? All the biomes have them, and it's right there on the front page. But why I've considered this a hidden feature is because the raccoon stock, the things that they have for sale, are constantly rotating. So there are some items that all raccoons do share, which is the variant removal, nesting material, herb bundle, bone marrow, critter bundle, toy bundle, food bundle, snake skull. All of them have that. Same with the items such as the black trumpet crown, the blackening wax cap, hare's foot mushroom, Eastern American jack-o'-lantern mushroom crown, as well as some of these rocks. So, and then all of them will have some variant of sunlight, some variant of plant, some variant of weather, and some variant of animal companion. They also all have aging crystals and OSHA, as well as backgrounds. And so because all of these, they're changing based on time of day, weather, and season. So it could be blowing wind in the middle of summer, in the middle of the afternoon, and it'll have completely different items than if it was the middle of winter, actively snowing at night. So the things do vary in between. So it can be hard to know what's available and how to get it. And so oftentimes I will see trades on the trading center where somebody has found an exclusive raccoon wares item, and they're trying to sell it for 2.5 times the value. And they're banking on either people being unwilling to switch biomes, or they're banking on people just not knowing where that item came from. So more likely than not, it came from the raccoon and it was just a seasonal time of day purchase. And there is a nice way to find out what exactly a raccoon will have. You can either go to the crossroads and scroll down to item catalog, in which case you can search for backgrounds. You want to keep the drop remnants open. If you select drop remnants, it'll make it harder to find it. But if you go to the item catalog and you look up backgrounds and you're seeing one that somebody is selling for over 2,000 silver, you can come here and try to find it, and it'll actually tell you where it's sold. So the Canada, Quebec Frozen Lakes, it is sold by the raccoon wares in the taiga biome. Now, typically this is part of their winter set, so you have to wait till the winter to be able to buy it. But like right now, it's windy. So there's breeze and chilly wind available for sale here in the raccoon wares. It's also summer and it's daytime, so summer daytime. So we have cave mouth understory, but it is the daytime variant, whereas if it was nighttime, it would be the nighttime variant. Some of these plants do go through seasonal cycles. And the foxes, every single biome has some variant of the fox. So if you're looking for a very specific fox, but if you're looking for a fox or just any fox, then you can look up fox. And if you do exclude custom decor, then we can see there's the Arctic fox, the cross fox, the forest fox, gray fox, island fox, fox, or kit fox, northern Alaskan fox, and platinum fox. So there is a lot of them, and each biome will have their own. But this is another item that I'll see people put up for sale for like gobs of money. It's like, it's just right there in the raccoon wares. So I guess what I'm getting at is I will see trades of items from the raccoon wares where people are asking for a lot more than the item's worth. And to me, it looks as though they're hoping that people don't realize you can buy this item from the raccoon wares, especially if it's an item that all raccoon wares have, such as nesting materials. The nesting material from the raccoon is 60 silver. And I have seen many trades where people are trying to sell nesting material for 100 silver. And it's like, just go to the raccoon, save yourself the 40 silver, and get the nesting material from there. The second thing on my list, keeping on the shopping theme, is actually the Grove Shop. And again, that Grove Shop kind of falls into that category of how is that really a hidden feature of Wolvden? And that has to do with a lot of the things for sale in the Grove, people not realizing that the item came from the Grove Shop. So there are items that you can get through, say, the slot machine, where if you've never interacted with either the raccoon or the Grove Shop, you may not be aware that the item you got from the slot machine can be purchased from these storefronts. So we're going to talk about what is available in here and what those prices are. So here in the Grove Shop, you can get the Feed All Play All, which if you get the Feed All Play All, in order to utilize it, you have to go to the bottom of your den page. There's auto nesting and pup stages. You can also rename your pack here in the Grove Shop. This was a debate I've seen come up a couple times. It just costs 1 gold and you can change your pack name. Then we have the items. So with these items, we're going to start at 1G in value and work our way up to 30 gold in value. Starting with the Claw Changer, Marking Opacity Changer, Marking Removal, Nose Changer, Skin Changer, all 1 gold. Elk Bundle, Elk Heart, Eye Changer, Pose Variant Motherly, Pose Variant Relaxed, Random Marking Applicator, Sex Changer are all 3 gold. Translucent Jellyfish is 4. Guarna, Instant Pup Delivery, Marking Applicator are all 5. Base Changer and Custom Decor Creator and Jellyfish, Immortal Jellyfish specifically, are all 10 gold, with total shuffle being 30. So if you're perusing the trading center and you see something like a Guarna being sold for 6 gold or more, then now you know it's just in the Grove Shop. You can go to the top of your screen and go get one for 5 gold. Same with all this other stuff. Sex Changers are 3 gold. Elk Hearts, 3 gold. If you see those kinds of things and you're kind of questioning the price a little bit, you can just go to the Grove Shop. See, I do believe the slot machine can give the random marking applicators, and then that game where you do the 4 different colors, that one gives like Pose Variant Relaxed and Guarna. So if you're only playing the games and you're not really visiting the Grove Shop because you're not interested in spending real money, and that's kind of how it becomes a sort of a hidden feature, because the phones do cost real money. And if you're a free-to-play person, you may not come here very often. The third item on our list of hidden features, also in the shopping theme, is the Fertility Snake and the Personality Snake. Now these two I consider hidden just because they're not really something that you know about until you, well, know about them. And typically they're not really something you think to seek out unless you see somebody else mention it or you know about it from, say, Lion Den. So the Fertility Snake, she allows you to check your female's fertilities and get an exact percentage. She also sells juniper berries, which remove 10% fertility, and the pasque flowers, which add 10% fertility. So if you have an infertile female, you can give her a pasque flower and she'll get 10% fertility. So it's very useful if you're trying to get your fertilities as low as possible, but you also need to be wary of, say, if your chosen stud has like a requirement, like if they won't go below 10%, you can get your female all the way down to 11% and be golden. And the Personality Snake, he's kind of that same thing. He allows you to change your wolf's personalities. So he has randomizers, which cost 100 silver, or you can choose the specific personality with the 3 gold personality changer. And this is an item you can win from the slots. So I have again seen this one where people will win it from the slots and not be aware that they could get it from the snake, or they're banking on other people not being aware you could get it from the snake, and they'll try to sell it for like 10 gold. It's insane. But they also help with evaluating your hunting parties. So if you have a hunting party and you're like you swear up, down, left, right that they should be doing an absolutely epically fantastic job, but they're not, you can go here and you can evaluate them. So I'll do like level gain. I'll evaluate them for 50 silver. And the snake says, great news. There were no clashes in this group. So it's just a great way to double check if you know your personalities. Like if you're using the Grouse House to try and help you pick personalities, then you don't have to do it this way, but I like to double check here at the snake. Because I actually had a hunting party not too long ago where I thought they were compatible, and then I put them through the snake and the snake was like, oh yeah, no, this one particular wolf is causing so many problems. And as soon as I swapped that one out, they started improving vastly on their hunts. But the thing was, is I had them together for so long that it wasn't giving me the error messages. Like if you have two wolves that are seriously incompatible, they'll fight each other instead of hunting. But this hunting party wasn't doing that. They just weren't working well together. Now, the fourth item on our list is personality and talents. So the personality, so for example, my lead wolf is arrogant. Personality affects both our wolf's stats as well as on the lead wolves, it gives an extra little skill. So for my wolf being arrogant, she gets +5 boost her XP from battling. Now, if you're on mobile, it can be really hard to either click on these question marks or even realize that these question marks actually mean anything. There's also nowhere in the site itself that spells out exactly what every personality does. So you would have to go through every single personality one by one until you find it. Luckily, we do have the Grouse House, which you can go look up personalities on the Grouse House and it'll tell you what all of them do. But every personality also modifies your wolf's stats by 10 points. Or actually say specifically 13 points. It minuses 3 and adds 10. The only personality that doesn't do that is neutral, and it adds 2 to everything. So depending on what your build you're going for, like if you've got, you know, your hunting party and you have your chasers versus your finishers, or if you've got like pub sitters and it really doesn't matter as much, but then you have your herbalist, depending on what personality you give it can hinder that wolf's ability to fulfill that role properly. But the big one for the leads is this little bonus skill, because some of them will improve energy regeneration, some of them will improve like scouting, herbalism. This one does XP. That's why I'm going to leave her arrogant until she gets level 20. At level 20, I'll swap her out for either the energy gain or the trophy percentage gain. But in all, for this particular hidden feature, it really is just these question marks, really, I should say, that kind of explains some of what's happening here. But the talents is also a big one. You unlock this at level 5 and you get 1 talent point for each level. So we can see here I have 1 unspent talent point, and part of why this is hidden is it's not really included in the tutorial, and unless you've clicked on your lead wolf and you like know to look for it, you may not even understand what that age does. We can see here where there's a whole bunch of different talents to choose from a wide variety of from health gain to fertility to befriending to pack size to battling. I personally am going to go for nimble, higher chance to free yourself from lock/snare. And I'm going to save the talent. Perfect. Now my talent point is gone and I've got a new talent. My wolf's going to be even better when battling, but I will share a pro tip here. I have pack life, which increases my pack size by 10, and pack leader, which increases it by 10 as well. So if you get these talents to increase your pack size by 20 points, if you go to reset your talents, if you're actively using those slots in your pack, you will not be able to reset your talents. You will have to somehow either buy those missing 20 slots, so you have 20 free slots, or you will have to remove 20 wolves in order to reset your talents. But you can do that for 100 silver. I'm not sure why you'd want to reset over and over and over. I personally just stick with 1, but depending on what you're trying to do, like if you're trying to do a bunch of gathering or a bunch of medicine making, or if you're doing like a bunch of scouting, then I could see why you'd want to switch this a lot. But I personally, I use the same build for every single one of my leads, and I just keep it the same. The fifth and final tip for this video is the cooldowns. Now, when I first started playing, I didn't know about the cooldowns menu. In fact, I only knew about it because somebody had told me about it and they had sent it to me via a link. And so I was actually manually typing in cooldowns into the search bar in order to get to this page before I realized that if you just go to your name at the top of the screen and click on this little, like just click on your name, this cooldowns option will pop up. And what's really neat about it is it tells you when rollover happens. It tells tells you the season, it tells you the weather, it tells you the time of day, and it tells you when it's going to change. So if you're trying to do, say, lunar breeding, which requires breeding at night, you can look at the time of day and see when the next time it changes. It also tells you when you could do your bypasses, as well as has these little question marks. Like we were talking about earlier, you know, one of the hidden features is these question marks, and it gives you additional information as to what the bypass and retirement means for you and your pack. So I actually use this quite often. I'd say I look at this page maybe once a day or so, which, pro tip for this one, you can get to the cooldowns while logged off. So if you haven't rolled over yet, it won't actually let you look at this page. But if you, I'll show you. So let's log out. I'm sure I want to log out. So we're logged out, right? So if we log out and then push the back button, it'll show us a brief of the cooldowns. Obviously, it's not going to be customized for our pack, but it will show us that brief. But we can also actually do that for several other things as well. So say, for example, we want to look at our lead wolf. So let's pretend we haven't rolled over, in which case when we click on, it won't actually let us click on this page. It will just show Moon asking us to roll over. But if we're looking at Moon, and instead we then go to log out, okay, and then we push the back button, it will show us our lead. But while we're talking about the cooldowns menu, I also want to show the traveling wolves. It's in that same section. You just click on your name, go down to the drop down menu, it has traveling wolves here. And here we can find everybody we have as travelers. So you can have a maximum of 5 travelers. And I personally, before I found this, I would send out my travelers and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, where'd they go? I'd have to keep like a record of them in my profile page, like direct links to them. But so much easier just to be able to click on your name, go to the travelers menu, and they are all right there. And I felt like that's kind of a hidden feature because kind of that same thing, you know, even once you make a traveler, there's nothing about the travelers page when creating a traveler. So like you go through all the process of making a traveler, you get them sent out into the world, and then now you're sitting there going, where'd they go? But now you know, if you have one out there, just go to the traveling wolves. So that was our list of 5 features of Wolvden that I believe are hidden features, starting with the raccoon shop with all of its items that rotate depending on season, time of day, and weather. If you're unsure where to get an item from, and if you're unsure of the price of it, look it up in the catalog and it'll tell you which raccoon sells it. And you can typically guess what season, time of day, or weather you need to get the item based on the item's description. All raccoons will have the same price, and all raccoons do share a lot of items such as the bundles, the variant removal, some variation of background, some variation of foliage, some variation of bird, etc. We went over the Grove shop and what was in the Grove shop, as well as the prices of items in the Grove shop. We looked at fertility and personality snake, so now you know how to check your wolf's fertility, as well as items that are used to modify the fertility, as well as how to modify your wolf's personality. And then the hidden feature of talents and personalities, where those little question marks and all of the information that it shares and how the talents and personalities affect not just your lead wolf, but also your pack wolves. Ending with the final hidden features of the cooldown menu and the travelers menu. Hopefully you guys felt like those were new and interesting and hidden features. If you already knew about them, or if you didn't know about them, let me know down below. And if you have your own suggestions that you think are hidden or ones that you'd like me to cover, then let me know about that as well. However, let's talk about this little cutie that I got on the screen here. So I did mention in the beginning that there would be a giveaway for this channel, and that is going to be this Sirenella puppy, which is a lethal random mutation, and they're actually the very first one that I've bred. I got the achievement yesterday for it, and I was like, no frickin' way, like talk about spoiler alert. But they are a lovely little gravel base with some nice markings on them. I think they're cute. The little sapphire eyes. However, I personally do not collect lethals. Therefore, I will be doing a giveaway here on this channel. If you are interested in this little puppers, be sure to leave a comment down below and you'll be added into a raffle. If only one person asks for her, then she is yours. Or if several people ask, then I'll just do, like I said, a little raffle for this baby here. The only rule I have for the giveaway is that you have to comment down below in the video, because I'm sorry to say, but unfortunately for the YouTube algorithm, I do need comments. I appreciate everybody's kindness and I appreciate the DMs telling me that you like my content. It's just, I need comments on videos too. So I thought this was a little bit of a cheeky way to get those. I will not be giving her an immortality jellyfish. So the giveaway will happen relatively sooner rather than later. So don't hesitate if you're interested. All you got to do when you post is just tell me your player name. It's really all I need. But anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. And until next time, have a positive day, everyone. Bye-bye.